If-else statements are used when you know you may have multiple true conditions, but you want a certain condition to take precedence over another condition. So for example, let's say you want to check the grade of somebody. If they have over 80, you want to give them an A. If they have over 70, you want to give them a B. And if they have over 60, you want to give them a C. You can use it with if-else statements. First, let's just write out an integer called grade. Make this equal to a 90. And let's write out our little program without an if-else. First, let's check if grade is greater than or equal to 80. We're going to print out you got an A, new line. Now let's do if grade greater or equal to 70. Printf you got a B. And lastly, if grade greater than or equal to 60, printf you got a C. \n. Okay, let's run this and see what we get. It's going to say you got an A, you got a B, you got a C. So we want only one of them to run, depending on what grade you get. To fix this code, what we can do is we can update this to an else if. And again here, else if. So using else if creates us into a single logic block where as soon as one of these conditions are met, it'll skip the rest of them and continue on with the program. So if we now press Control F5, it'll only say you got an A because the first condition is going to be true. Let's do Control F5. You got an A. So now if we update this to, let's say, a 75, when it checks this first condition, 70 is greater or equal to 80. This is going to be a false condition because 75 is not greater or equal to 80. So it's going to skip this if statement. Then it'll go to this else if statement. It's going to check 75 greater or equal to 70. 75 is greater or equal to 70. It's going to run this line, and it's going to skip this last condition here because we had one that was true, and then continue on with the program. So if we run this now, it's going to say you got a B. And again, lastly, let's do a 60, roll 5, you got a C. So now what happens if we want everything below it to give us D or F or something? Well, there's two things you can do. Here's the first way you can do it, which is not the preferred method of how to do it. You could say else if grade is less than 60, or you could say less than or equal to 59. But in this case, let's just say 60. We want to say printf you almost failed. So if we run this again now, we're still going to get C. But if we update it to a 59, let's say, Control F5, it's going to say you almost failed. This technically works, but I would advise going against this. Instead, what you can do is just write an else statement by removing if in the logic. What this does is if every condition you have is false, it will automatically run the else statement. And it works in the same way with the else ifs, where if one of these conditions are true, it'll skip this as well. If we were to run this again, we can see that it'll still hit our else statement and it'll run because nothing else was true. So let's just show you where another condition is true. Let's make a grade of 100. Control F5. You got an A and it doesn't run this last line. So that's how you can use if-else statements in your code.